Welcome to the Articy Draft 3 First Steps tutorial series, video 14. In this final video, we will take a look at how to spot possible errors, and we will learn about the different export options Articy provides, and see in what way they can be used. Besides the normal search function, Articy also provides a conflict search for finding conflicts inside the project. Let's check our project with the conflict search. Click the Conflicts tab in the navigator to open the criteria form. Now you can select or deselect conflict types and specify the scope of the search. I do the search with all types selected and over the entire project. What do we have here? A script error? That serves me right for trying to spice up the Tasty Rocks event, like we discussed in the last video. Let's see what went wrong. We can open the corresponding object by clicking the conflict search line. Okay, seems like I forgot to end the first statement with a semicolon. No wonder the parser got confused. Next we have invalid references. They are listed because we did not create entities for the dean and the salesperson. To remove the conflict, I will create the entities and update the corresponding entries in the flow and the document view. At least the spaceship salesperson we will need at some point in the game anyways, when Lily is able to afford ship upgrades or even a completely new ship model. What is next? We use the same technical name more than once? Well, at least it is an easy fix. Click the config search line to open the entity and change the technical name. Our last issue is an invalid property value. Let's take a look. Indeed, level 0 is not correct. If we hadn't set a constraint when creating the feature, this error would have gone unnoticed. Setting constraints for template property values is an easy way to spot issues. Let's do another search to see if everything is in order now. Great, no more conflicts. Now we will see how we can get data out of Articy. Articy provides multiple export options, from Flow to Word over XPS or Excel, up to technical exports like JSON, Unity or Unreal. Which export is best for you? That depends on your use case. If you want to provide someone with a quick visual snapshot of a location or single flowchart level, you can use the XPS image export. With XPS, you can create very large vector images, ideal for extensive flow layers or large locations. And from Windows 7 onwards, you get a viewer included with the operating system. You can find the button for the XPS export in the toolbar. If your resolution is lower or you resized your window, the button might be hidden. You can get to hidden buttons by clicking on the little triangles that appear in your toolbar when not all buttons can be displayed. To export objects like, for instance, a list of entities, you could use the generic Export to Word. This export option can be found in the main or bubble menu. Click Export and select Export to Word. In the export dialog, you can select one or more objects, the export method and several parameters. And this is what the exported file looks like. If you aim to export a branching flow structure, like this dialog, you should choose the Flow to Word export. You can find this export method in the Flow View toolbar as well. This export offers a wide range of customization options. You have basic options like text formatting or a table of contents. Next are the sorting options, which define in which order branches of your flow are added to the document. What's best depends heavily on the use case and is also a question of personal taste. Then you can decide if you want to list unconnected flow nodes in the exported document and if they are listed as one node per line or comma separated. The next option allows you to define if and how references of flow fragments and dialogues should be exported. The templates options offer customization possibilities for the visualization of template information within the exported document. Last but not least, you can define how many flow layers you want to export with the hierarchical depth option. By default, all flow layers are exported. Here you see the exported document and the flow in comparison. We use depth first as a sorting option. This is why one branch is run through entirely before the other branching options are listed in your document. With the links you can always jump to following connections, which is pretty helpful in bigger and more complex dialogues. If you want some statistics regarding the scopes of your project, the easiest way would be to use the Excel export. Let's say you are thinking about localizing your game to other languages and want to see how big the workload would be. Click Export or use the hotkey Ctrl-Shift-N-E, select Excel and choose what you want to export. In the exported Excel file you can find a word count at the bottom of each worksheet. Or let's say you want to provide your artists with a list of weapons as a basis for their work. Then the Excel export is a good choice too. In comparison to the Word export, it creates a much leaner file in table form. If you plan on getting data back into Articy, for instance after proofreading the game's dialogues, you need to choose the Excel for Reimport export variant. Click Export and select Excel for Reimport. Now you can select the data you want to export in the Objects tab. In the Properties tab, you can greatly customize your export. For example, to make the exported document easier to read, you could remove stage directions and menu text for dialogue fragments, if you don't have content in there anyways. To store your selected properties, you can create a preset. Enter a name and save it by clicking the little disk icon. If your project uses a lot of calculated strips, it might slow down your export. To speed up the process, you can deselect the export options for these elements. The Excel for Reimport export option is also a good choice in every instance where you might want to do bulk changes in your project. For example, if you want to update all your technical names, because you hadn't thought about the naming convention when starting out. Or if you want to do a balancing pass on your game's weapons. You can do this much easier in an Excel table with search and replace functions and forms than within Articy itself. It is important that you don't change the ID column at all, or the reimport won't work properly. Now that we've made a change, we want to get our text back into Articy. Choose Import from the main menu and select the file. Here you have a couple of options to decide the scope of the import. After the import ran through, we can see that one dialog fragment got updated. And voila! The text update we made in the Excel file is now in Articy. If you want to hand over Articy data to a game engine, you should take a look at one of Articy's technical exports. At the current state, these are XML, JSON, Unity and Unreal. We won't go into detail in this tutorial, but if you are keen on additional information regarding technical exports, please check the links in the video description. If using the JSON, Unity or Unreal exports, you can customize the output with Rulesets. The default ruleset exports the entire project data. To edit rulesets or create new ones, go to Export Rulesets in the navigator. We have arrived at the end of the First Steps tutorial series. You should now be able to walk and even run and find your way around Articy Draft 3. If you want to check out the final project, just download it. You can find a link in the video description. Goodbye.